if you smell what The Rock is cooking.
Acknowledge me.
You don't know what hard times are, Daddy.
We are bad to the bone. Get it? Bad to the bone.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
I'll fight anybody who do you want. Just let me fight him.
Let me tell you something, Jim Ross.
Mega power, yeah. We got it for you.
We are the best of the best.
Woo! Wheeling dealing. Smart marks.
And that's the bottom line, cause Stone Cold said so.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of Talk 'em in the Building, a pro wrestling podcast that puts the focus on the promo. We talk about the talkers, we hype the hype man, and of course we have to pontificate upon the promo. I'm Adrian. You already know it's no BS coming from me. I'm joined by the homie out west. We got the professor out of lead. How you feeling, bro?
I'm living, brother. Living
Good,
it up
good
and
stuff.
excited for tonight, bro.
Amen. Amen. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time checking us out, thank you for giving us a opportunity. Leave a comment down below saying you're a first time viewer. Of course, leave a like. That always helps the algorithm or whatnot. But our podcast, like I said, we talk about the promos. And in this episode, we're going to do our review, which we call our Dusty review, because in three of our opinions, Greg, shout out to him, one of the greatest promos in pro wrestling growing up all time is the great Dusty Rhodes. So we call it a Dusty review. We break down the promo. We go pros, cons, what we like about it, what was left to be desired, and then ultimately we decide, did it talk you into the building? And on a scale to 1 to 5, 1 being not so good, 5 being must see, how many Dusties are we giving this promo? So, Ali, you don't know what I'm bringing, but I'm going to go ahead and let you know, man. I'm bringing something for the true sickos, and that's for the Juggalos. I'm bringing a promo. I'm bringing a promo today, the first one in Talking Pod history from Juggalo Championship Wrestling. And I'm just interested to get your feedback from it and what are your thoughts and all that. Is featuring a wrestling legend in some people's opinion. But before we get into it, obviously this weekend's a huge one in the pro wrestling world. You have Saturday night main event going down, John Cena's final match. This is the retirement match. You have the Last Time Is Now tournament. And I think a lot of us from the jump, we all knew who was going to ultimately win. And that's one being Gunther. I said he was the MVP of WWE wrestling in ring for the past year through his multiple matches, whether he was carrying Goldberg or having a hell of a couple matches with Jey Uso. Like, Gunther did work. But we're not going to talk about that because we've talked about John Cena and his legacy and all of that stuff. What I want to ask you out of lead, once they start revealing the card around this this event being John Cena's final match, we start to see a lot of NXT talent. We start to see a lot of people that were on the cusp of being on the main roster or whatnot, being a Javon Evans, a personal favorite of mine, Sol Ruka, who's next up, she's a couple matches from probably being on the main roster. It's a number of young talent, and I kind of have the feeling that it's very intentional that are surrounded by the glitz and glamour of John Cena's retirement match. We're essentially passing the torch without officially saying it. Even his opponent, Gunther, he's not the oldest dude on the roster. Like, he's still considerably young in the industry. What are your thoughts on the card? And do you agree with me when I think that the overall message of this card is, hey, we're moving. I mean, we're passing the torch to the next level of pro wrestling.
It's interesting because initially, right, when we heard about this months ago, right, we knew there's an end date. We knew there was an end game, so to speak,
Right.
but we didn't know what that was going to be, and everything that was leading up to it was like it's just going to be a typical retirement ceremony. He's going to get in the ring. He's going to bid his goodbye. We're going to fade out, and that'll be the end of it. But it's been turned on its head because every Raw, every show has felt like it's the John Cena show or featuring John Cena leading up to it, to the point that this turns on its head. And you're right. There's this element of you have all these performers that are on the cusp, but you just mentioned some great ones. I mean, these are people that we've been following, that we've been talking about. Oba Femi, who was like that's my guy, right?
I didn't even mention that. Yeah,
there he is, and like everybody thought it was going to be Ricky Starks, and here we go. Here's the curveball, right? And Ricky's going to have a great future, on the main roster too. But it's interesting because I think this is going to lead to more setup of storylines in the future with the foundation, like I said, of having seen a stamp of approval. And I'll go a step further in saying I still think that we're not getting the full gist of the program.
Okay.
I think we're getting a taste for it. I can still see some kind of physical passing of the torch where Cena does come out at the end, and you got all these NXT guys out there, and you got the whole roster, and you're highlighting, you're paying reverence to the past, but you're being deferential to the future, and you're saying, here is, who is right now. You got your Rollins, you got your Lesnar. If everybody saw online, they posted, this goodbye video with all the superstars holding up a piece of paper, saying Cena's catchphrases, and it's a lot of current stars, a lot of current made superstars, and who's to say that, who says that these NXT stars are going to be around in 5 years? But the goal is, with the way that WWE is set up, they can make anyone a star, right? They can take anyone and elevate them. And clearly, from what we see of Javon Adams, Lasol Ruka, like you said, and Oba Femi, I mean, they're knocking on greatness right now. They're giving all the tools. And I mean, hell, think about how, in different companies, how they're even talking about what a great generation this is coming up. So it's an interesting way to turn it on its head because, you go back to the Nexus piece and how there's always this talk like Cena was, not letting that next generation come up. He didn't think they were ready. And now, maybe it's maturity. Maybe it's just, I don't have skin in the game. So I don't know, he didn't even want to win the Intercontinental Championship except the whole Dom program, which that's someone you missed too, right?
Yeah.
That did its job. So this truly feels like, not just a swan song, but really thinking of the future generation. I just do hope they either give them a moment or give them that spotlight to be a little bit more, not think so much of the future and have that moment where you can soak it in and say, this is it. If it truly is going to be a true retirement, not a pro wrestling retirement, as we tend to think of them of.
Right.
And give them that moment to shine and take in the crowd and give that moment, because I think to this generation, this is going to be their guy, right? This guy has been here for several decades, and that kind of longevity, I don't know. It's hard to come by, especially if the machine isn't behind you a lot of the time.
That's true. That's very true. And I'm glad that you did add in the fact that Oba Femi is facing Cody Rhodes. Like that's a huge opportunity. That's a huge match, a huge opportunity to showcase a dude in Oba who's super, super young in the industry, but so imposing, and he has such a run on NXT. What's the likelihood of us seeing Oba Femi beating the champ Cody? What's the likelihood?
It's higher than we think. I don't think it's an impossibility. I mean, you could have some interference. I think Cody can lose and still look great. I don't think Cody needs the win. I think Cody would be fine having some weird interference.
Yeah.
And just making or giving the illusion of Oba Femi just looking powerful, right? Strong. Everything that we've seen him being elevated to at this point. It's not had to be that difficult.
There's literally nobody on the roster of WWE, at least at the top of the card, that I trust more to actually make someone else look like $1 million other than Cody Rhodes.
Oh man,
Like I'll give Punk his due and his props for playing. He's been playing super nice since he's been back in WWE. But Cody's the guy. Cody's gonna make anyone and everyone look like $1 million. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm glad that I don't have much college football around it other than Navy Army, but other than that, I'm definitely going to be watching. So, y'all let us know in the comments, what do you think about Saturday Night Main Event? Do you like the card? Are you a fan of the card? Are they dropping the ball? Do you think Obafemi pulls off what could be considered an upset? But if you look at both of them, you're like, this guy should win. Let us know in the comments. Oh, lastly, Adelie, do you think Vince will be there?
Oh, man.
Because that's the question. That's the big question.
My knee-jerk reaction is no.
Okay.
Not because they don't want him there, because they care about the reaction. I think they don't want to overshadow Cena's night. And I think as much as he probably wants him there for the beginning of his career, essentially.
Yeah, for sure. Right.
And, that personal relationship. But I think just given the context, it would overshadow the night. But that's just kind of what I presume might happen. If he's there, it wouldn't surprise me, though.
That's fair. I was just thinking because I was like, I do know I did catch a clip of him basically on Joe Rogan, basically saying he wanted to see Vince, and Vince needed to come back because he's very loyal to Vince, to a fault to a lot of us, but it is what it is. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this review. Like I said, I'm
excited about this one.
Yeah, early on, I put in the setup. I said this is the first ever Juggalo Championship Wrestling promo on Talk'em Pod. They have a weekly show on YouTube, JCW Lunacy. I kind of like it. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like it. It's pro wrestling. It's foolishness, But the biggest news coming out of their promotion is the fact that Vince Russo is a part of this company.
That's perfect, man.
Yes. So what? Vince Russo's back in pro wrestling, and I know a lot of the rumors was Russo's going to work for NWA and all of this. Here's his relationships, and he swerved us all, bro, by becoming a person or a lead writer for Juggalo Championship Wrestling. So in this promo, it's actually the follow-up of the return of one Vince Russo.
Kind of a little disappointed in the booze. You know what I'm saying? A little disappointed. Yeah. I haven't been in a wrestling ring in like 20 years, and you boo me?
Does he really not understand why?
Let me tell you a little story. A couple of months ago, I got a call from my old friend Joe. And Joe asked me if I was interested in investing in his company because he wanted to bring it to the next level.
Classic Russo.
I told Joe that I would think about it, but then I never heard back from Joe. I heard back from Joe's lawyers. And I said, why ain't I hearing from Joe? And they informed me that Joe was wrapped up in his tour. ICP had a big tour. And Joe basically told his lawyers, find an investor. I don't care who it is, find the capital. We need the capital to bring this company to the next level. I was informed that there were a lot of bids. So, Bro Sports and Entertainment.
Is that it?
Oh my Christ.
Made a bid. You think the name would have tipped it off, but it didn't. So here I am investing in this company, JCW. Now, let me explain to you why you should be kissing my big New York ass. Let's take a look at who these other investors may have been. What about JCW selling to the Saudis? What about that?
Yikes.
What about that? You guys would have flew over to Saudi Arabia. I don't even think you know where that is. So you guys would have flew over there wearing your clown makeup, and what? They were going to welcome you with open arms. I'll tell you one thing. Your woman were not getting into that country. So you should thank
to which
me
they say.
because Joe could have went the way of the WWE. He could have sold out. But instead, he got me. And I am here to tell you the way it is. Now, I got to tell you something, man. I respect your loyalty to ICP, to Violent J, to Shaggy. Give it up for them. Give it up for them. Right? I know. Okay, we know the alphabet. We know the alphabet. And I respect this company. Joe started this company in 1999.
That's crazy.
26 years ago. Do you know what a landmark that is in professional wrestling? But we got to be honest. He has a fan base of all of you. And where you may be loyal, you are simply not enough. We need to bring JCW to the entire world by any
It's like it's
means
going on forever.
necessary.
Jeez, I was going to say it's like torturous, bro.
Yeah.
You know something? Everybody get the hell out of the building. Wipe that shit off your face. We're charging you $5 extra to come back in.
This budget Armando
And
Estrada
there
or
is
what?
no Fago juice for no one.
Fago juice. Jesus.
So, I'm here to tell you, man, I don't know about you people, but New Yorkers shoot straight. There are going to be some changes. Some things have got to go. And those changes may start from the bottom and work all the way to the top. But I want you guys to remember one thing. Whatever happens from this point forward, I do it all for the Juggalos. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Oy. Okay. It's kind of a rough start to Juggalo Championship Wrestling being reviewed on this podcast, but we got to do it, man. We got to be able to talk about what we see, highlights, lowlights, and all that stuff. Ali, I want to know your opinion of the performance that this returning Vince Russo.
Yeah. I needed Officer Colt Cabana to go out there and take him out or something. Oh my gosh. That is my entry into Juggalo. I mean, obviously through WCW and everything that we've seen them over the years.
For sure.
And they run a pretty, fun promotion. Then they're true fans and they're students of the game, and props to them for continuing their love of pro wrestling.
Yeah.
With this, I couldn't tell if it was performance art. It's deliberately long and droning and obnoxious and torturous because that was the point. Or was it just someone who hasn't been in the ring and done a promo in a really long time and is trying to go back to past glory and apply it here? I don't know if I'm the right audience for this, and I don't think the Juggalos are the right audience either.
And
It
that's
remains to be seen.
yeah.
It felt really ill placed,
Mhm.
and I don't know. It's weird because when I think of JCW, I think they're completely catering to their crowd, right? Even again, I mentioned Officer Cole Cabana when he would come into the ring. He's like, telling off the fans, but it's all very tongue in cheek. Like they're in on it, like any good
Right,
pro wrestling show
right,
is.
right.
I don't know if they were being polite or what we heard was just what we
Indifferent.
could hear, or was it exactly right?
Yeah.
Were they just tuned out and be like, get this guy the hell out of here. Let's get started with the real show.
Yeah. You could kind of at the beginning you could hear, them jeering them and, just saying little things here or there, but that started to get more and more quiet as this is dragging on, but I will give Vince credit in the sense of I always try to shoot Vince Russo bill because I do have an appreciation for the guy.
Yeah.
But I will shoot him some bill in the sense of where he was attempting to interact with the crowd and to bring them up, to bring them down, that sort of thing, where he's like, I respect you guys. Y'all been around for 20 something years. That's an accomplishment. That's awesome. But y'all haven't done anything. And that's the reason why I'm here. Right. Or even more so. And this is what I want to bring to next, asking you. Vince Russo did what Vince Russo always felt comfortable in while he was as a performer, which was going behind the curtain per se and bringing the people into it. Him bringing up him telling the story of JCW's looking for investors, which is a major storyline in their programming. I'm still new, but I have been watching for the past month or so. That has been a storyline. The guy the gentleman who was with him was initially announced as the major investor, Vito.
Okay.
And then it was swerved that the true investor, the big money investor, was Russo. And that's where we're at now. But I say all that to say that Vince Russo brought up the fact that, hey, it was multiple bids put in on this company, and it could have went to the Saudis.
Keep it topical.
Keep it topical, right? He's bringing up WWE, and it's kind of that feeling of, are you trying to baby face? You're like backdoor little baby face action.
Yeah.
So I don't. Yeah, exactly, and that's what I didn't think that the people in the crowd were actually into it that much to even let him bring them there. It's like it was a disconnect. Hopefully it gets somewhat better. But what are your thoughts on Vince bringing up the potential of a Saudi takeover?
I mean, look, we're in a different landscape where, like, maybe several years ago, I think that would have been, oh my gosh, he's bringing it up. But if you look at the landscape and you look at, call it sports washing, call it just getting the culture out there with the Saudis, right? It's here, right? And it's not going back. It's going to keep happening. So it feels more just, okay, what's on the pulse of pop culture right now in sports and in sports entertainment, if you will. But I think the disconnect here was, I don't know if these fans wanted to hear that. I think this is the reason they're JCW fans. It's like, we're insulated from all that. And I think if I was going to show, like, I don't think I want to hear about the other stuff. I just want to focus on the show. But if it's an investor angle, which I wasn't fully aware that it had been going on that long, I don't know, that could be an interesting piece. I don't think you need to hammer it home that much because I think you'll lose the crowd. And I think he did. So
I think effectively they did. But any last points to this promo or the presentation? What about Vito? What about Vito's performance?
I mean, it was fine. I didn't have any context for him. I would have loved to have, like, since, like, when I go back to the quote with comic books, right? They attribute it to Stanley and whatnot, but it's like reestablish, who you are, because you never know when it's someone's first time, right? So it would have been nice just to be like, and I'm gonna give the mic to my number one investor, or my representative, or whatever you want to call him, because I don't know, he just looks like a heavy. I kind of joked he looked like a Armando Estrada knockoff, or what it was,
right?
But it's just like a big dude, big jacked up dude who's in a suit and looks the part. I think I'll give him credit because, again, look, I'm gonna watch wrestling no matter where it is. If it's entertaining and it's fun, and it's sometimes these shows are probably more fun because you can really see the passion, and you're working with limited resources. I mean, obviously they have resources. I mean, they're booking venues, but I think this is at its core. You strip away the lights, you strip away the entrance, and you just have a ring and some lights. And what kind of art can you create? How can you entertain people? And I don't know, that seems like a pretty big get Russo, because I don't know where else he would have fit in at this point,
That's fair. That's a fair critique. And I will say I'm kind of shortchanging them in the sense that their intro to that episode pretty much gave that recap. So it's essentially setting it up for us to understand or filling in those little gaps. So I will give them credit there. It's not just coming out of nowhere and that sort of thing. But I'm gonna say it. I want to know how to lead. Ultimately, this is the reason why we're here. The question is, did it talk you into the building? And on the scale of 1 to 5 Dusties, how many Dusties are we giving my guy Vince Russo?
Purely in isolation, and this might be just a nostalgia talking. I'd give it a two Dusties.
Okay.
Only because I think he's leaning on old times.
Okay.
I want to say 2.5, but again, I can't quite place it because I don't know. I want to give him credit and say he's doing some kind of performance art, and it's almost like deliberate. I'm annoying you deliberately. I don't think that's the case. I think it was just droning. Did it sell me on watching the next show? I think it sold me on the idea of JCW, because frankly, I didn't know they ran regular shows on YouTube, online. I know they ran live shows. I know that's still going on, and I know the subculture is like alive and well, and it continues on, which is that's awesome. Props to the subculture, the Juggalos. But as a wrestling fan, that's what kind of would bring me in. I'm like, oh, now got Russo, so maybe it should be higher. But strictly as a promo, I'd give it 2 Dusties.
That's fair. And I'm in agreement with you on it. Being the wrestling fans that we grew up similar eras, Vince Russo, love him or hate him, he played a major part in it, and he would definitely be the draw, or he's the reason why I started paying attention, because as soon as that news came out, I said, hey, let me at least give it an opportunity. So on that end, I guess it's working. But for this promo in particular, I'm going to give it 2.5. And the reason why I'm giving it 2.5 is it kind of seems like, even though it may be intentional, where he's trying to just annoy us all by being so long-winded with everything, I kind of, it looks like he's just working ring rust off in mid promo, and it's kind of like, is this gonna work, or is this gonna work, or maybe next week I won't go here.
It's kind of going through the motions there a little bit.
It's kind of like the improv. It kind of felt like improv to me. I'll be honest. It kind of felt like improv, and I think if the crowd would have felt a little bit more emotion or connection, whether they love him or hate the guy, I think that may have pushed him into a better promo per se. But I think once the crowd kind of tapered off on it, especially once he brought up the Saudi thing, I think that kind of killed whatever little momentum. By then, everyone's like, what is he talking about? Now he's pretty much on an island. And when you're left on an island, unless you're just like, you've been training, you're up to the standard, I don't know if he was ready for that. So For that, I'm giving it 2.5. I'm still gonna pay attention because it's pro wrestling.
I'll
like
check
I
it
said.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna give it a shot. I do like a number of the characters that I've seen in the month. They have the Stephen Flo guy. That I love him. I love his.
He's in that.
Yeah,
No way. Oh, that's
he's in
hilarious.
there. His tag team partner past couple episodes. I don't know how long it's been, but is that cocaine guy? Yeah, he's like Kane, but a white version of yeah.
It's
the
blue, right? I think
I think it is white. It's like
it's
white.
white.
It's white and
okay,
black.
okay.
Yeah. It's,
shoot.
It's insane. It's weird. It's funny. You know, it's interesting. That's what I can say.
Okay,
I know we say AEW's for the sickos, but
nah,
this for the juggalos, man. So y'all let us know in the comments. Have you seen Juggalo Championship Wrestling? What wrestlers should we be paying attention to in the promotion? Because like I said, I'm only a month in. Ali's going to check out the next episode. They come out on Thursdays, which is the day that we record. So it's on YouTube. I'll drop a link in the description so people can check it out. Give them a shot. Give them a watch. It's a cool, easy watch for an hour. I think that's the sweet spot for pro wrestling for me. Like is an hour and a half, but that's me. But if, like I said, if this is your first time checking us out, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Go to intothebuilding.com. We have a growing catalog of plenty of conversations about the promo, past, present, future. We have little offshoot episodes like this one where we do our Dusty review. We also have our Rushmore's wrestling series that Greg normally leads. That's always a fun discussion as well. And yeah, man, just give us a follow, give us a like.
Yeah.
We love to, we love to interact with y'all. But Ali, you got any words for anybody listening?
No, we're glad you're joining us. And again, you know, Adrian talked about our back catalog. We're growing as a channel, as a show here. So check us out and let us know what you want to talk about too. If there's anything, topics or any ideas, talk about John Cena today, talk about the Juggalos. Maybe you're a Juggalo yourself. Let us know.
Yeah. Shout out. Whoop, whoop. All right, y'all. But again, for Out of Lead Out West, I'm Adrian. This is Talk 'em in the Building, a pro wrestling podcast that puts the focus on the promo. We talk about the talkers, we hype the hype man, and of course, we pontificate upon the promo. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next week. Whoop, whoop.
You don't know what hard times are.